Hello everybody and welcome back to AGB Cars. It is that time of year again when all of the new F1 cars are being unveiled just before pre-season testing begins in Spain, and this video is going to fly through very quickly all of the new cars that have been launched, going through livery changes and aero changes very quickly. So because we've got 10 of them, the Williams were the first to unveil their new 2017 car. It is called the FW40, of course named after Frank Williams as always. It was an online launch on the 17th of February, although there were only images online and then it was later revealed in the flesh. So the livery is much unchanged in the Martini livery that we've come to expect since 2014 from Williams. No real livery changes at all, although you know the Martini livery is one of the best in the grid, so not a bad thing. And when we saw the first car being the Williams, it officially confirmed that shark fins would make a return, as well as the expected new front and rear wings and wider tyres. The shark fin is definitely pleasing on the Williams compared to other cars, with the Martini running up into the shark fin. But otherwise there's no major aero devices visible anyway from the pictures that we have. That's the Williams done very quickly, as I said. The Sauber was the next car to be unveiled. This is the C36. This was February the 20th in an online launch again. And Sauber are celebrating their 25th year in Formula 1 this year. So to mark that, they have a special design with gold incorporated into it. I could take it or leave it. It looks a little bit all over the shop with the blue, the white and the gold. I don't like the gold on the wing and running down through the car, although some may like it. The shark fin is definitely more hidden than the Williams. It's coloured in black, and they've also gone for a more curvy shark fin, as you can see there. The Williams is definitely a more straight end to it, so this is showing that teams have gone in different directions but all using the same shark fin. Renault became the first team to launch a car in person rather than just online pictures when they had an event in London on the 21st, and technically this is Renault's first car as a whole works car since they came back after taking over from Lotus, and they must definitely improve on their performance last year. They eye 5th, bit optimistic, but they have returned to the yellow and black livery that is very close to the 2010 one, I think, which looks good. The yellow hasn't been a major player in the grid in a few years, so good to see yellow back. Also, aero wise, the shark fin is quite the same as the Sauber one. Also it's raked up towards the rear rather than just going straight back. That might be something to look out for. Also the front nose has these kind of air guides going back from the front of the nose. That's something we didn't see from Sauber and Williams, something to note. They obviously trying to guide the air under the front nose and towards the side pods and around the rear. The next day, the Force India unveiled their VJM10 at a live event again at the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Of course, because the old Jordan factory where they are based is just around the corner from Silverstone. High expectations for Force India and great opportunity for Esteban Ocon joining. Of course, they have a lot more prize money this year from being 4th last year, but the livery remains largely unchanged. It's the same silver, orange and blue. The nose, a lot of people didn't really like it when it was launched. I didn't really either. It's very ugly. It comes down in 3 parts, splits, and I don't like the way it looks. But Force India obviously think it will be good for aero. And the shark fin that Force India have gone for is very, very bare. I think it definitely needs colour or sponsors or whatever. Also, something to note on the Force India is that it has a stepped nose, very 2012-esque, that no other team really has. So Then the important one was Mercedes, the day after Force India, also at Silverstone. This will probably be the car to beat again. So they did a few shakedown laps before the car was unveiled to the press and to the world. The livery is as expected. It's the same silver with black and a bit of turquoisey green from Petronas. I do like how that Petronas green has been worked in. It's kind of electric lines down the side. Really nice. Also, the shark fin, little shark fin to no shark fin, which was very confusing because everybody went for shark fins. We assumed Mercedes would, but this means obviously that everybody else is wrong, and Mercedes are right by not doing one. Very complicated side fins, barge boards around the side airboxes, very complicated architecture there, and a very loopholey, if I could say, winglet that sits almost on top of the exhaust behind the engine cover in front of the rear wing, that they've obviously found a loophole to say you can't not put a wing there, so they have. And I expect much copying to be done on that front. The day after that, Ferrari unveiled their SF70H in Fiorano. Where else? This is the 70th anniversary of the company itself. That's why that's incorporated into the name. The livery, red. What else? Largely unchanged. Aero-wise, though. Very large curvy barge boards around the side. Also, the air intakes are kind of short but very wide and oblong shape rather than the round edge that are normally there. So that's something a bit interesting. And the shark fin looks well with its white with the Italian flag detailed on it. Also, they had got Mercedes trick winglet thing, but that was incorporated into the shark fin rather than having its own individual stand, obviously because Mercedes didn't have a shark fin. So interesting to see that they both came up with that winglet. They're the only two to get that. Then 15 minutes after that was unveiled, the spotlight shifted to Woking in the McLaren Technology Centre, where they unveiled the MCL32 name change. It's not the MP4 or whatever. So the livery is orange. Rejoice! Orange has returned to Formula 1. It has not been raced by McLaren since 1971, and it looks very well. It looks very different. It looks like a much needed change that needed to be unchanged. Also, there's still no sponsors on the McLaren. They haven't got title sponsors. There's CNN.
Fake. Phony. Fake.
Johnny Walker. But other than that, it's very, very bare. Definitely needs some sponsorship. So you need to get on that. Zach Brown and Eric Boulier. Aero-wise, they have the Renault-style air guides at the nose, though they're a bit more detailed on this. Very, very small stepped nose, if you could really call it a step nose. Also, there is a air outlet just before the very small step, which only the McLaren has, and can, I assume, for it to relieve pressure under the front nose. The shark fin also has a shark fin with a black and the orange swoop thing, and it has a straight end like the Williams does that we saw at the start. 3 more to go. We're almost there, and we're going to fly through these. The Haas unveiled theirs on the 26th of February online. It's the VF17. Don't know where they get VF. The livery, some people love it. I don't. I think it's very bland. I think it's grey and red. Yeah, like, you could take it or leave it. Shark fin is good though. I do like what they did with the livery on the shark fin because they've overlapped rectangles and it looks cool. It looks like it's moving quickly even when it's stood still, which I love. Also like the McLaren, it's light on sponsors. We need to get more sponsors, Haas. Aero wise, very boring, nothing to report here. It's just as you would expect last year's car to look. You know what I mean. Now, two important Red Bulls. So on the 26th as well, the Sunday before Monday testing, Red Bull unveiled their RB13 online. The livery, they've stuck to matte paint that we saw last year. Livery looks 100% the same. Can't see any difference in the livery, which, I mean, 13 years and they haven't really changed livery at all. I would have liked to see something new, but we'll get onto Toro Rosso in a second. Aero was a straight plain shark fin, and not much to talk about, but I'm sure they'll arrive in test and in Australia with a heap of aero bits. One thing, they have a hole in the front of the nose cone. Now, this must have a purpose in some Adrian Newey aero god way. Could it cool the driver's feet maybe? But it did give rise to some funny photoshops of the car, which were quite funny. I'll show you a few of them. Some USBs and stuff. So, last car, Toro Rosso, 26th in Barcelona, eve of testing. The best car was saved till last. I think this looks fantastic. It's the only really big change of the livery and the paint scheme that we see this year, and it's like a luminous looking purple and silver and red accents, and it looks the business. I really like how it looks. Also aero wise, I think it has the neatest nose on the grid. It's very, there's no protrusion, there's no divide, there's no air guides. It's just the nose does what it's meant to do, end of, which I love. Also a relatively small shark fin, curved like the Sauber was at the end. I just love that car, and I hope Sainz and Fiat get that car some point, and I hope it goes as fast as it looks awesome. That's what I'm gonna say. So that's it, all of the 2017 F1 cars. Hopefully that wasn't too long. It's a lot to get through, but give you sort of the main ideas, the main meat of it. So today the F1 testing starts for 4 days, and then 4 days next week. And then Australia starts on the 24th to 26th of March, and then we are underway for the 2017 season. Yes, okay, thank you. I will see you hopefully in a video quite soon talking about more F1. Goodbye.